Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you actually.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let's see here if
You can hear me? No?
yeah, I can. Sorry, my earpods are not working though. I think that was the problem, or they're not connected.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Oh, you look cold over there.
Yeah, we didn't have our heating on, and yeah, but now we do.
Yeah, fair enough.
We have an option here, whereas in a lot of the places you are, you have no option. You would freeze if there was no heating on.
Yeah, that's true. I bet you it's colder, I mean, warmer in Perth than it is in Stockholm at the moment.
Yeah, even though it's winter. Yeah.
That's it. It is at least in Sydney. My friend and I were just chatting about earlier that it's literally warmer in Sydney than it is here. But oh well, that's Sweden for you, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. So you're back. Okay, that's good.
Yes, yeah, back in Stockholm now. Okay. Okay, well, let's start. Let's
Yeah.
so I read your email obviously where you said that it's pretty much like slowed down pretty much completely over the last few weeks or so, a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So when I made the mistake of topping it up to all the way to 34 in my head. I just thought, oh, why don't we just, instead of just pausing the email campaign, also, because obviously I'm saving on, let's face it, on consult fees too. So I thought I'll keep the budget the same with the ad spend, and I'll put it all on the top of funnel, right? Thinking this is going to maybe, if I'm like miraculously lucky, gonna almost double bookings. Of course, I know you probably were thinking ahead that it probably wouldn't, but I was surprised that it. And I remembered then that you said you should put $2 a day, but then I thought I'm just gonna stop it because I don't know. Yeah, I remembered that later, and I didn't want to fiddle anymore, so I just left it, crossing my fingers, and I left it for 2 weeks, and there was like a boost and then a complete stop. And then now you've seen the figures. Did you get a chance to look at the table? I tried to get 2 weeks of two weeks of my data and 2 weeks of your data from your top of funnel ad that you did before we switched to me managing it. Did you get to see that statistic export that I did?
Okay, yeah, I see. I mean, yeah, I did take a quick look at it, but I tend to, I guess, check these numbers in Ad Manager by kind of adjusting the dates. But yeah, we've got the dates here. So should I share my screen, or do you want to share yours?
What do you think? I mean, you're probably going to be driving more, but if you think I should share mine, I don't mind either. If you want to sort of show me things and point out things, it may be quicker if you drive, because you still have access.
Yeah, I do still have access I think, why don't you share, just in case there's any like settings that I need to change on yours, then that might be, and then if I need to, I can drive type thing.
Yeah, no worries at all. All right. So just check one sec before I do questions. We still. Oh, can I ask a question just before I forget, and then I can turn off something?
Yeah.
Why is my top of funnel is still, by the way, I turned it off on Saturday because I knew we were going to have a meeting. I didn't want to waste more ad spend, you know. So I turned it off, and then maybe we can do some tweaks and I can turn it on again. But on Saturday, it had been 2 weeks since I started the campaign, or maybe even more, but it was 2 weeks since I did some changes. And it's still in a learning phase. So I just wanted to know, even though it has a lot of budget, it's still in a learning phase, my top of funnel.
Yeah, the learning phase is essentially Facebook is saying it's not getting enough technically for what it wants, enough conversions to exit the learning phase. That happens to a lot of my accounts, and it will never exit learning phase. I just ignore it. It's something that I don't pay too much notice to it, because you're not going to get enough conversions when you're trying to kind of bookings, right? So in an ideal world, we'd get 50 conversions per week, but it's just not possible.
Sure, I understand.
The other thing I wanted to say as well is with the budget. So you can scale or increase or decrease. So scale or descale, if that's a word. It's not $2 a day, it's 20% of the daily budget per day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I must have converted that as $2. Okay, so 20%.
Exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of to clarify that. And it's not a number that, but as far as I know, Meta has come out with and said this is how it is. It's just something that I learned from my coaches in DD Pro, that if you scale too quickly or too fast, then they have seen that it does affect the campaign. So yeah, that's just, I just kind of, to play it safe, I calculate 20% daily budget, and then I increase or decrease around per day or every other day, something like that.
Okay, so, and I don't know if I'm just saying things that either are obvious or not relevant, but just to give you slightly more background on what has happened. Before I increased the budget to 34 and then waited that 2 week and noticed an incline and then a steep decline all the way along for those 2 weeks. Before that, was just before that, we had our last meeting, and what I had done was I told you that it seemed like we had a decrease in bookings. You may recall this, and then emailed you that, and then you had to check a few days, a week later, and said, actually, it looks like you're getting some more bookings. So, and I was getting some more bookings. So it looked like what we thought had happened was that maybe published it, maybe it decreased the bookings because it was a new campaign, and then it looked like it came up again, and then we had our meeting. After our meeting, I increased the budget, and I think that is all I did. And then it decreased the bookings. So that was the pattern that I saw in Calendly bookings. So it seemed like first published, slow, then, and you noticed too, it picked up pretty good. Then increased the budget, big spike, then nothing. So I don't know if that helps, but that's what's happened over the last month. And now I'll share my screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, let me change that there.
And I know also some of it's a bit of a stab in the dark, isn't it, with all this? It's really tricky.
It is tricky, yeah.
So shall I share? I'll keep you on a video on one screen and then share the screen with the Facebook page. So now, actually, sorry, I'm going to change that because that's not this. I've got two screens and that's not the screen in front of me. I'm so sorry. How do I exit new share? I'll share. I'll move this. Talking to myself now.
I do that all the time.
Share. This one, is that screen two now? Are you seeing a screen with Facebook?
I'm seeing a screen of a lovely looking boat. I believe.
Yeah, that's random, and I will change. So it's screen one. Okay. I didn't put that there. I don't know. It's something my husband did.
I see.
Now, can you see the Facebook page?
Yes, yes, I can. All right. Ooh, okay.
That's not my boat, by the way. If that was my boat, we would
Yeah,
right?
I wish as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of. All right, just give me 1 second to kind of do a very quick. No. So if you go to the time frame where it says this month, kind of top right hand corner,
Yeah.
and
Actually,
then
this is good training as well. Yeah.
yeah, and then go maximum, so that we can see all data that we've ever recorded. And then you can scroll over a little bit to the right. Scroll over a little bit to the right. Okay. Yeah, you can see there. So the amount spent for the new cold tattoo bookings is over $1,000, right?
Sorry. Okay. So cold tattoo bookings purchased. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that means that you've spent on that campaign $1,000 in total, and we know that we launched it relatively recently, right? Like when was it launched?
Like a month or so.
A month or so ago, right? So then if you scroll over all the way to the left, again,
Keep going this
yeah,
way.
so sorry, the other way, so like to the beginning.
Yeah.
You can see here that the very first campaign that I ran, you can see that has tracked 65 website purchases. So 65 bookings was tracked from that original campaign, and they were tracked at about $100 per booking. So what this is kind of telling me straight away is I think one of the main issues at the moment is that we're just not tracking. Facebook it's not tracking anything, right? It hasn't tracked a single booking in this campaign. So in your new campaign. And then that's over time, it's just gonna penalize the campaign and even the ad account as a whole if it continues happening, because we're just saying to Facebook that the ads aren't working. We're not, the goal that Facebook is trying to reach is just not, it's not happening, it's not converting. So that would be kind of my biggest kind of theory and why you've seen such a slowdown. We should ideally, if you click into the cold conversion, the original one that I created, the very original one.
At the bottom here.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So actually click the link. Yeah.
And then click it again just to see kind of on ad level. So yeah, you can click there. Exactly. Yeah, the ad sets link. Yep.
I clicked. Oh, there we go. Third click.
There. Yeah, so there we can see even an ideal for the very first one, that Picky Polly one that we ran with Aurelian, it was about $70 tracked per booking that we were able to track. So that's kind of ideally kind of a goal that we should be looking for when things were working well. Or it's just
roughly $70 per
yeah,
booking.
I mean, exactly. And this account's best possible ideal kind of scenario, and ideally we would beat that even more, but $70 per booking that you're generating $500 from, I think that's not too bad. So that's kind of when you run your new ads, when you create new ads and you let them run for a certain amount of time, maybe a week or so, depending on your ad spend, if you see that these ads or the campaign even is it's spent say 3 times as much as this goal and it hasn't converted one booking, that is again an indication that okay, things just aren't really working, and then we want to change it up sooner with new ads, or even a new kind of, campaign strategy. So not optimizer for bookings anymore. But if you scroll over to the very right again, I think I might have sent these metrics to in an email. I should have, that you're looking for around ideally $70 cost per purchase, cost per booking.
Yeah, it's here. I printed that particular one. You sent it just a week or so ago. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then we can see here also cost per initiate checkout here is $8. So that's another cost per lead, $58. So those are again kind of numbers that that can be good to look out for just when you analyze your new campaign. So what if this was me, what I would do if we just launched a new campaign, it just hasn't worked. No, I mean, there was some bookings at the start, but then everything slowed down. You're not getting any more bookings. I always try to revert back to what I know was working at one point to test that. And then make small changes kind of based on what was working. So what I would do, let me just take a very quick look at this. First of all, when a campaign stops working completely, like has happened now for more than a few days, more over a week or longer, I would then exactly what you've done, which is pause the ads, and then I would create and relaunch a new campaign. So you don't want to be working on the same campaign, because Facebook's already kind of like decided this one isn't working. So then we want to by starting a new campaign. It can be exactly identical to the old one, so you can literally just duplicate the entire campaign. And then by duplicating and relaunching it, even though it's exactly the same, you kind of giving it a fresh start in Facebook's eyes to kind of learn and see if that one's gonna take off in terms of conversions, being able to track conversions.
Okay.
So now your retargeting campaign also has not recorded. Really any bookings, but if you go to from the maximum, if we go to the time frame and change maximum to last month, so we'll just look at last month.
Okay.
And then scroll.
This is the original one, so I won't have anything.
Right. So then go to campaigns. So campaign level.
Oh, sorry, can I just say something? See here, it says budget was $40 daily for that original one.
Yep. Yep.
So then we reduced it and tried other things like the email, and then there was also the retargeting that we would have started,
Yeah.
But yeah, so even though mine's $34, and even though I think it's essentially very similar to yours here that I'm pointing to, that was very successful, because you did give that advice. So I just went for a different photo of Aurelian and two others, and then it boosted the one of Aurelian.
Yeah.
I think it's really similar. So that's just something to bear in mind when you say, to change it up.
Yeah.
Maybe, could it be that, like you said, in Perth, there's a small market, maybe those people who might be possibly interested have already they've seen it. So even though it worked before, it worked, but now that small pool of people need to see something different.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Exactly. That's why I would run this exact same ad in with the exact same image, and then run variations of that. So say, either you can, so maybe I would then in that case do two other exact same copy, everything exactly the same as this ad, but two other images, maybe like quite different images. And then you want to see what the data says. So, because if people are still clicking through on this image, for example, at the same kind of rate as the original campaign, and it's still got a good click-through rate, and people are still clicking through book now, so that essentially the initiate cost per initiate checkout is still similar or like a decent amount, then that to me would be an indication that this maybe is still, people are still, you know, interested, or is maybe still promising this ad. But if not, if I notice a difference, or that it doesn't create any bookings at all, then I would not continue running it. Does that make sense? But always kind of try what was working, and then at least you can compare the data with that ad to your new variations at this point today, because it could be like a time factor as well. And yeah, does that make sense?
I think so. So you would, can I just reiterate, so I'm sure I understand? So you would, if you have taught me this before, so you would duplicate it, keep all the copy the same, change up the images, and then if the click-through rate, is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's CTR.
Yeah, so that means they're clicking from the ad onto my website.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that is okay, so then if that is comparable with the more successful or ideal metrics, then it's okay, it's going well. But then of course with me, it's not, it doesn't usually have those conversions that Facebook records. It's more just whether I'm getting through those emails which you used to get on Calendly saying new console or new tattoo. So with those two, the click-through rate.
Yeah, the first thing that I check. Exactly. Yeah. Sorry. So the first thing that I check is click-through rate, to see if is it an okay click-through rate. So say that an ad has 0.2 click-through rate, or even lower. So we're looking for at least 1%, generally. But even if we look back at, let's see, this ad, the original ad that I call it, that had a click-through rate of around 1.76. So it had nearly a 2% click-through rate, which is a good click-through rate. So it means that people are clicking through on that ad, or were. So that's the first thing that I check. But if that click-through rate is really low, so 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, that's kind of okay. It's something that I acknowledge. And if it's really low, then I might pause it quite quickly, because it's just not, people are just not interested enough, and we're not even generating enough traffic on that ad for people to get enough traffic for people then to convert. But that's kind of the first sign. And then I also check, you can check the cost per initiate checkout for the ad.
And then cost per initiate checkout. Okay, I'm circling these on your email. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna, sorry. And then cost per initiate checkout. Okay. So you said when we were mentioning like 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, were they the really low numbers that you were saying that you would immediately pause?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would pause if it's, I mean, under 0.5, I would typically pause it, especially on your account where you tend to get better. The click-through rates tend to be quite good.
Yeah. And then the cost per initiate, you said ideally around $8 to $15 as well, as something else you would check. So if the click-through rate was still high, like, but then the cost per initiate checkout was over 15, that's they're clicking through, but they're not initiating a booking. Is that right?
Exactly. So let's go to the campaign. Let's do like a quick little troubleshoot on the campaign that you've created, and see what the numbers are doing there.
So okay, where should I go to? Sorry, go to
so campaigns, and then that's it. And you can scroll to the left a bit more on your scrolling thing. That's it. And then I can click into the actual campaign. And then, yeah, you can click the blanket, the ad set. And so here are the ads.
Yeah.
So if you scroll over slightly to the right, first of all, we can see the click-through rate there, CTR link click-through rates. That's the one I look for. The not the unique CTR, but for any cold campaigns, I check the CTR link click-through rate. You can see that's 1.4. So none of these click-through rates look bad. These are all click-through rates, right? And I would be surprised if they were super low, because like you said, you kind of did a variation of what was previously working. So people are seeing this and they are clicking through. And the first thing that I would check here is, okay, is any of them significantly different than any of the others? But they're not, right? They're really similar. And none of them are under 1%. So that's good. And then if we click over, if you scroll over to the right-hand side, a bit more. So here you can see, okay, we're getting a little bit, and this, yeah, you know, it's just such a difficult account for you because we just have so little data to be able to read. So there's a lot of guessing and a lot of kind of, okay, seeing how many bookings you're actually getting, right? But here for the cost per initiate checkout, you can see that the one, okay, wait, I'm just gonna check now how many impressions they all have. 30, 50. Okay. Yeah, so you can see here that the cost per initiate checkout for obviously the top one is 20, whereas the cost per initiate checkout for the bottom one is just 13. So that to me then would be an indication that, okay, the lower one has a better cost per initiate checkout, meaning more people, it's generating cheaper cost per initiate checkout. So chances are that people that are clicking through on that ad are more intrigued or likely to initiate checkout. And then perhaps, again, you're guessing, making assumptions, perhaps more willing to book. So that is the one. And then if you scroll over even more to the right, you're exactly where you are. You can see where it says leads and cost per lead. We can see here that last month, these ads, they did generate 6 leads. So not bookings, but 6 leads.
Can you explain again what that is? Because, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, could you explain?
Consultations. So a phone.
The lead is consultations.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it is. So that's another thing that I look for. If an ad is generating many leads, then that's, you know, people are not just clicking through, they're actually booking a consultation from that ad.
So when it says 5 leads from the one with Aurelian, the photo of Aurelian, it's saying literally tracked 5 consultation bookings.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably more than that, right? Because we can't track everything or anything out of a 7-day window. So exactly, that's right. So any one lead means that people have landed on your lead thank you booking page. That's when one lead is tracked.
Yeah.
And we can see that the cost per lead there is 114 for this one. So it is more obviously than the original ad, but it's a good and positive indication that it has tracked those 5 leads.
So the original ad, it was actually a cost per purchase of 70. You've written, because that was our very original ad.
Yeah.
And then this is even just leads, which is, you know, yeah, it's it's just the only thing I can see is that maybe it's something to do with the algorithm, because I put all that money on straight away. Like you said, you're supposed to up it by 20%, but otherwise it is so similar to your, let me check. Do you mind if I don't know if I'm going off the track and we're time, you know, we have a certain amount of time, but would it help? Can I, because my burning question right now is, if they're so similar, and I think I just wanted to check the text or the copy of the original one.
Yeah.
Because if they are so similar, then the only thing it could be to me, apart from the fact that I've pumped up the budget too much too soon, it to me feels like that people have already seen it, right? That feels
Mhm.
like, because I think it's so similar. Do you mind? Would it be useful just to double check that and check the text from the original versus this new one?
Yep. So, okay. So
Right?
let's
Or is that
maybe,
not
let
not a
me,
good?
yeah, yeah, no, sure. Let me, so yeah, because I kind of have a couple of ideas there as well. So if you, let's see if I can do the
Yeah.
driving. What's that? Let's see, request remote control. So, and then can you minimize your screen so that I can have two screens up at the same time?
So
Two screens, I mean
make
two.
this one smaller. Okay, wait, do you mean minimize like this?
Just so that ideally I would be able to see, or you know what, why don't I share my screen instead, so that then I can just because I just want to have the two ads side by side so I can show you exactly what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Okay, I'll just stop yours temporarily, and okay. There. Does that work?
Yeah, so I can see your screen. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna have, this is what I was thinking, so we can do, that's that one there. And then let's check this one here. So now I'm going into the original one.
Yeah.
All right, and can you see both of them there?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So obviously the biggest thing that stands out here is the image is is different. That's kind of the main difference.
Yeah.
It is interesting though, right, that with the other three ads you ran in the same campaign, this one was the most successful, I think we can say, we can determine, since it did generate 5 leads. And then you also ran in the same campaign, you also ran this, and you also ran this. So yeah, for me, that's kind of like, okay, you ran these 3 ads, but this one was the most successful, and this one is also the most similar to this one. So again, maybe an indication that, you know, there's something about this type of creative that works. So here, if we check,
It's different, right? Because he's a man, like there must be competition out. There's so many brands. I don't know much about them all, but there's a lot of other, salons doing brows and they must be running ads. But this is definitely different because it's a man,
yeah,
and
yeah,
a
exactly.
young man.
It's
Looks
a
like
young man,
most.
exactly. That's was kind of what my theory as well. It's a young man, and people see who it is, so they feel it's also the same image of him here in the actual ad. So women are kind of are comforted by that, and then you probably go troll your page and see all the reviews, and then it's mentioning Aurelian again and again. So maybe something that's even could be on the landing page could be more emphasized somehow, to try to increase that trust. But yeah, so other than, let's see if I can expand this. Yeah. The other thing that is different is these comments here. I'm not seeing these straight away. Have you replied to them? Do you know what those comments are, or?
Look, aren't I just so bad? I don't think I have, even though you used to hassle me about that and
Yeah.
remind me about that. I don't think I have.
Here, look at this. Like, this is great. So this is really trust building for ads.
Looks like I did reply to Glenda
Yeah.
Dillon,
Yeah.
but
So yeah, there's only a couple more, but I would, as much as possible, engage. If you receive comments, ideally reply to them as quickly as possible. It helps ad performance. It helps other people view this ad. Reply.
can you just show me how to find that again? So
Sure. So what you can
yeah.
do here is on your screen here, is you can actually go, if you go, for example, last month, or if you want to, you set yourself a reminder to maybe check it every 7 days. That's what I do on some accounts. So then you go every last 7 days, and then here in the conversation funnel, your reporting funnel where you check different stats, you can go engagement, and that means all the engagement that your ad has received. So then you can literally just check post engagement, and then at campaign level here, you can see which ads to check to see if they've received comments. So let's go for retargeting, for example. We can see there's one ad here. Oops. That's received 2 comments. So then this is just how I access it. Select it and then go preview. I am recording this thing as well, so that in case you need to get it. And then go preview. Then I go share and I go Facebook post with comments. Then you see the actual Facebook post, like how other people view it.
So share, okay. And
then here you can see all of the comments that this ad has received. There's just quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's definitely one thing. So that's why it can be good for an ad, even though it has been running for a long time, to keep, if it's still working, to keep running that exact same ad. Because as soon as you make any changes to an ad or launch a new ad, all the social proof, all the comments are gone from that ad. So you'll see sometimes on Facebook, some ads for like, I don't know, I get a lot of ads from like razors and things like that. And they have like thousands of comments. And that means they've been running for a long time. But if it's still working and it's getting a lot of positive feedback on the comments, if it's still working, don't why change it.
Yeah. I thought, didn't you say at some point that if you don't edit things that Facebook might, or if you don't bring in new content, the Facebook might penalize you for that or something? Like you've got to keep it active?
That's
not necessarily
in relation to the Facebook page and Instagram page. Okay. So if it's, ideally, the organic pages should be regularly updated because again, it feeds Facebook with indications then that the page is relevant still and active. And same thing goes for, if you get social proof on the organic content, then that's also little signals to Facebook that people are engaging with your accounts, which is also kind of relating to your ad account. So it's all just one big algorithm and machine trying to show people the ads that they want to see, that they seem interested in, and that they're converting on.
Okay. So if it's working, but then it would reach a point where, because it's a small market, coming back to that comment about it's a small market, everyone might have seen it and then it might stop working.
Yeah.
Might have seen it enough.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Although then maybe if it was paused, like this has been paused for some time, maybe then people will kind of forget they've seen it. It might seem new after a few months. That photo, the original photo with the blonde client has been paused for maybe 2 months now.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe relaunching it again.
Yeah.
Because it might seem fresh again. That's another approach.
That's another approach. Exactly. So this is exactly how I would troubleshoot. I would just look at these two, go, okay, this one did track 5 leads, that did show some success. The click-through rate was successful. This was the original one that we know that this one was working. The other thing I just wanted to point out as well that's different is the headline, which is this one here. So ideally that everything is going to be exactly like identical, right? And this is I'll send you through kind of more detailed instructions on the split testing. That's the one that you haven't received yet, the session. I'll send that through today. It's on my to-do list today.
Thank you so much.
So there's kind of 2 ways, different strategies you can do here in terms of like relaunching relaunching this campaign, I should say. And by that, I mean duplicating and starting a fresh one, but you can use the exact same that you previously had. Either, and this is completely up to you, you can test both ways. You can start with one and then test the other way. But how I would do it is either I would run exactly the same original ad with exactly the same creative, but then I would do 3 different copy angles. So maybe exactly the same as we've done previously, so picky Polly, and then test 2 new copy angles that you haven't done before, just to change up the text a little bit, to see if we can, or a lot, I should say, just 2 new copy angles, to see if what happens then. What happens? That's all it really is. Run that for until they all have, say, at least say $50 behind each ad. If the click-through rate looks similar for all of them, just see, okay, are people clicking through more on this one, on that one? What's the cost per initiate checkout? And then kind of try to make a decision based on, am I getting bookings first? Did it seem like bookings started increasing? Like, this is kind of what I was doing when I was managing the account, just gauging and what seems to be happening here. So that's one. Alternatively, you do kind of a similar strategy but different, so that you keep instead the copy. So you run 3 ads, keep the copy identical, so keep picky Polly copy, and then maybe run again this exact same creative, then run this creative as well, your new creative, which is kind of what you've done here, right? So this one is more or less identical, it's just the headline that's different. But you can see the story is, so that's the same. It's a similar, it's actually a similar.
Do a lot of people look at the stories and the reels, or because it's quite, for me at least, I found it a bit of a hassle to create the layout for these other ones. Obviously I need to do it, don't I? But
yeah, it just it depends really on your market. We can check and see as well the breakdown of how many people have viewed it on story versus on feed versus on Facebook versus on Instagram.
So did you just do the creative, the images, let's call it the images, for the stories, how it's a different layout in Canva as well? I
just did Canva.
So are you able to help me time manage? Maybe would you be willing to, I don't know if you can, if it's possible to send me the Canva creative,
of course.
Of course. I've got Canva. That means I could just maybe edit what you've done as well. I did create them, but maybe yours were better. And
of course. I'll send those templates through. That's totally no problem.
Thank you.
So if you want to split, so this is what we call split testing. Then the first option I said was you split test the copy, which means you have the exact same image and then 3 versions of the copy. The second option is you split test the creative. So you have the exact same copy, but 3 different creatives. So then I would maybe do this creative, and then either a similar creative of Aurelian again, or you could try something kind of completely different, more like a video or an image.
And what would you do? So you've given me the 2 options. I understand what you're saying. Would you change the creative or would you change the copy? If you were doing it now, which one would you do?
I'm thinking.
I know it's just a choice.
I'm just trying to think like strategically.
Okay.
I'm just trying, because it could go both ways really. I think I would probably start What did you say initially your budget was for the top of funnel per day? It was like 20 or something like that, was that?
I've increased it. It was, I think, 18 when we were also doing email marketing ads, and I put that email marketing, so it's 34 now.
Okay, because
The top of funnel.
the budget is a big thing as well, because the budget essentially is you're competing against all these other permanent makeup artists in the space. So if your budget, the higher the price point of the end product, generally the higher the budget you need to have. Otherwise, Facebook just won't show your ads because your budget is too low. So I think it also could be a combination of the original campaign just wasn't getting enough budget either. So that's also why perhaps it wasn't working as well. So because you could see then that the original campaign we ran, that the budget was $40 a day, like that's twice as much. So with $20 a day, you're probably competing against the auction with a lot of in the area, more small time players. There would be a lot more of those in the space than at a higher budget. So it would be, I think, in that sense, good to, yeah, I think I would, since like you say, we've ran this original ad for so long, so people are familiar with this. I think I would split test the creative first as a first test. Just since we,
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would run the original ad, your new ad, which also showed promise, and then you could either do something completely different, or a different image with Aurelian, or an image without the microblading. Yeah, there's so many ways to split test. It's just a never-ending kind of process. But yeah, do the same copy, the same headline. So I would even maybe change the headline to throw away your brow pencil question mark.
Does that work? Yeah, okay, so
in the beginning, yeah, and then just do 3 different creatives.
And about the video or about carousel ads, are they a good idea?
That can be a good thing to test as well, yes.
And with a split test, would you need them all to be so you need 3 carousel ads? Would that be like a proper split test, or could you do, was that considered just the creative? So you could do all the same copy, but then one of the creatives could be a carousel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So ideally kind of what I tend to do depending on the client, but I might usually the first time I start doing testing, I'll do 1 still image, I'll do 1 video, and I'll do 1 carousel if the client has that, to kind of try to gauge and see. And it is tricky because the video might be really different in terms of what's included in it, right? So again, when I make decisions based on the data, I kind of like keep that in mind and say, okay, what seems, so it just really depends on the client and their service or offer and how similar these different creatives are. But we're just trying to narrow down what seems to be working, and then we try to improve on whatever is or was working or shows promise.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would recommend you do with, and then that's the other thing that I want to say as well. When you duplicate this booking, maybe call it 2.0 or something, or even the month you launched it or something, so that you can compare the difference. I would then,
it says, the campaign objective was purchase.
Purchase.
Purchase. But what was the original one that went really well? We had $40 budget per day on the one that you did.
Also purchase.
Purchase, because you said tattoo bookings, and that's purchase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, when you relaunch this new one, then whenever you relaunch a campaign or an ad set, then you can set the budget to whatever you want. So you don't have to consider any previous budget, right? So then that's a good opportunity as well to, if you can, maybe increase this budget to 40, so that it is the same amount as your previous one.
And we could really compare it then. Like
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because it'll be receiving the same budget and the same amount of advertising space as your original one.
Yeah, okay.
See if I can see anything else here. Yeah, but it's definitely good that this one has checked 5 of those consoles.
Yeah.
Let's see, try to see when they happened. So see what I'm doing now. I'm changing the time frame window to just view data then. So it seems like kind of the last, towards the end of the month. Okay, yeah, so they were pretty regular throughout the whole month, really. So we had 3, 4 there from the last 2.5 weeks. 3 weeks. Now the other thing that I'm looking at here is your retargeting campaign, which is bottom of funnel. Since that also hasn't tracked any bookings for quite a while, I'm thinking that, I would relaunch. I would pause this and relaunch even the retargeting campaign as well.
Okay.
Because again, we haven't tracked any purchases, so we're just telling Facebook that's not working.
Okay. And then for the retargeting, what have we done? Because I haven't, this is your original one. I haven't edited this or relaunched it.
Yeah.
So you
can see that it tracked last month or last 2 months, actually. 1 lead. 2 leads last month. And see the cost per lead here is $50. So the cost per lead is much better than the top of funnel campaign, which makes sense, right? Because people already know about you, so they don't need as much convincing. Yeah.
And those 3 ads in the retargeting, they look all completely different, don't they?
Yeah.
And we kept them though, so we didn't end up turning 2 off, like a better performing, but leaving just a better performing one. We kept the 3 versions going, did we?
Yeah, exactly. So in the retargeting campaign, I mean, you do split testing here as well to test what's working, but in the retargeting campaign, because it's a way smaller pool of people in your audience, you don't want to run the same looking ad. I mean, you can still do a split test and test 3 different creatives or 3 different copy, but because the same people are going to see the same ad multiple times because it's a smaller audience, so Facebook shows up, it's just the frequency is increased. That's why it's good to have it's a better strategy, I think, to have more greater variation. So you touch on different touch points. So that's why we have one here with reviews. And this is a carousel ad, by the way, that you're asking before I see it. Click through. Yeah, that's exactly, and then we have just kind of some benefits here. This one here. This is a really long one. And then the original image here. Which, so I would maybe change up this image in the retargeting campaign, because we use, especially if we're going to test it again, top of funnel. But I feel like, even though it is working, especially in the retargeting campaign, I think it makes sense to change it up to something maybe similar but different.
Okay.
And then let me just check that. Okay, we're doing 90 days for all of this. 3 months. Yeah. So this is another with the audiences. We can see here that I've done 90 days, which is 90 days, obviously. So anyone who visited your website in the past 90 days, they will be in this audience. So it's quite a large window. So
Yes.
alternatives to test could be to decrease that window and maybe do 60 days to show the ads to people that are maybe a little bit more relevant.
Okay.
That's a strategy like option to test. But what I would probably do first and foremost, since this was working at one point in time, is just relaunch the entire campaign, just duplicate, relaunch it, exactly the same settings, and then maybe change out, you could even keep the same copy, change out some of these images just so that your current warm audience just sees something that's a little bit different, so that they're not,
Okay.
yeah, just because we've been running this for a while.
Okay. Okay. You can see, you can't see me, can you? My video is my
Oh yeah,
camera's-
no, I can't. No, I was looking
I
at
don't know why.
ways.
Okay.
I'll let you share your screen, and because I'll show you another couple of things as well that you can to view, like where your ads are being shown if you want.
Okay. This will stop this. So I'm confused if I've shown you the right thing.
Yeah,
Can
that's
you see my ad manager?
yes. Okay, so yeah, these are your current 3 ads. So if we go to see where it says breakdown, so next to the reporting column. And then here we can break down to view data, depending on, like, you can see different ages, you can see different placements, which is where it's being shown. If you go platform.
Yeah.
Here we should be able to see, and then maybe click away, so that just click like somewhere so that, yeah, like there, exactly. Okay, so here we can see the majority. You see where it says here, checkout initiated? And then looking at that lowest ad, for example,
Yeah.
you can see that the majority of checkout initiated have happened from Facebook. So Facebook favoring, Facebook is Meta, I should say, is favoring Facebook placement rather than Instagram, which I think makes sense because you have a larger audience there. But the cost per initiate checkout is much lower on Instagram, although we only have 2 data points there, so it's not really much to go off. If you scroll to the very left, just to see how many impressions each ad has. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can see Facebook here on this lowest ad it's almost received almost all of the impressions. And so where's only 500 or so for Instagram. And usually Facebook will automatically favor the placement that it thinks is working the best. But these are, again, numbers you can look at and compare, and you can, if you notice that, for example, say that all those 5 leads had been tracked as coming through from Instagram, which is highly unlikely because it hasn't received at all as many impressions. But that's, again, something you can, okay, maybe Instagram placement is working better than Facebook. Maybe I should create a campaign only focusing on Instagram. So that's, again, another way to view more data and see a little bit more what's going on like within the ad account. So if you then go breakdown, and you can instead choose placements, if we, like you said, just to see how many people are actually clicking through from the story. Yeah, that's it. Here we can see Facebook story and Instagram story and the other placements.
Okay. So
yeah, click away. Yeah, perfect. So you can see here, if we check the impressions screen here, you can see 17,000 Facebook feed. So it's Facebook's very much favoring Facebook feed as the placement. You can see that you've spent, yeah, and if we look at amount spent, that's another thing that I kind of keep an eye on as well. It all looks like you haven't spent pretty much anything, $10 on video feeds, and that's about it. But this is also something that you can analyze and view, because of Facebook is usually these days, Facebook is really good with choosing its own preferred placement, but you can also create a campaign and just select Facebook feed, for example. So then you're forcing Facebook to only spend money on that placement. So again, this is something you can analyze and see, okay, this placement is getting $10, but it hasn't resulted in any, results. Maybe you want to exclude that placement. So yeah, it's just kind of gives a little bit more visibility over your ads and your ad placement success.
Okay.
But we can also see here that you asked about the stories, Facebook story, Instagram story, $3. So has pretty much received almost no budget. So it's the reason I'm checking that as well is because we can't really make a decision based on that, because it's just not enough impressions really to see. Maybe it would have gone better if it had more impressions, but I would also argue that Facebook knows where to feed the budget. So I do tend to trust what Facebook decides to do.
For simplicity, like for ease and quickness and efficiency, I feel like maybe I could just say, just create the square one, the easy square one, and just say make it go just to the Facebook feed only, because my time is fairly limited.
Yeah,
I probably prefer to properly split test just the one square image that, because you've got to create 3 images.
Yeah.
Then you've got to create the long ones, and
yeah.
Maybe, I mean, is it a bad idea just to go, let's not bother with the other formats and just do Facebook feed?
Yep, no. So if you scroll up a little bit, because we can't actually see Facebook story here. So just want to make sure that it's not, okay, so yeah, that's enough. Okay, so we can see here that this ad, you see where it says Facebook stories, Facebook reels. Right. Facebook stories has literally received only 117 impressions. You've only spent $3 there. So barely, it hasn't been seen hardly at all, right? So if it's
it took me quite a while to do that, and I sort of put it wrong. I downloaded it and then I was like, no, that's wrong. Oh, go back into Canva
again. Yeah. So then I think your point is completely valid. Don't worry about, just when you select the campaign, when you create the campaign, just change the placement from automatic placement to Facebook feed only. And we can do that now. If you want to quickly duplicate the campaign together, we can kind of like set that. Yeah. So first of all, I would go where it says breakdown and placement. I would remove any.
I'm just going to write that down. I know I've got a recording, but Facebook feed only for placement. Okay. So here we are. Yep.
So under breakdown, you can go and just remove clear all where it says there. Yeah, just so that we're not seeing all that info. And then go to campaigns. And then I would turn off this campaign. So see the one that's selected, just toggle the on off the blue button.
Oh, not that one yet. This one.
Yeah.
That.
Just to avoid any confusion around which one you're running. And I do the same maybe for email list as well. This is in my, just when you view it, it's like, okay, which of my campaigns are actually on and which are off, unless you want to run the email list campaign, but I'm guessing not. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know.
So now, if you hover over the cold tattoo bookings campaign, yep, you can see it says duplicate.
Click it.
Yeah. And then I would do duplicate with current settings. Okay, so now, and just go continue, duplicate, yeah. So now we're creating an exact same duplicate version of that campaign that you had originally created. And here maybe name it something 2.0 or something like that, just so that you know that it's, you know, not the same one.
Shall I just call it August?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so now we can scroll down. So we have the auction, that's called sales now. We can leave that as is. Yep, and scroll down. A/B test, we want to leave all that off, and then scroll down. Is that it?
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
If we are going to do a split test, as we discussed, didn't we? We said split test the creative first. Why would we see what it says A/B test? If that's a split test, why do we not turn that one on?
Yeah, it's just a different way of running a split test where you're giving Facebook more, I guess Facebook is making more of the decision, but I prefer to do a manual split test because I can view the data myself and I can force Facebook to spend, otherwise Facebook will decide which one is the best. But even for my learning, I want to know, I want all ads to get the same amount of data so that I can see, oh, which one actually people are clicking through to. So it's just a little bit more of a manual way, but it gives more insight and like more learning ability for me personally. Although like you could do an A/B test as well, but you might not learn actually, you know, oh, this image didn't work at all, for example, because Facebook just decided which one worked. So it's just kind of a good learning opportunity.
Yeah, okay. I'll just write that down. So don't select A/B test. Yep. And then do we go publish?
Yeah, so first you want to go to blanket. So you want to go, this is the campaign level. So you want to go ad set level. So you can see where it says on your left-hand side, your window. You pop up, yeah, blanket, yeah, that's the targeting. So we can keep, okay, yeah. 21 days, that's quite a while away. So here we have the conversion, yeah, and you can scroll down. Scroll down. Here I would change the budget first and foremost to 40, yeah. And then scroll down. We can keep the same audience. And then here is placement. So here's where you select where Facebook should show these ads. So this is where you can select Facebook feed only. Exactly. You go manual placements. And then you can even remove audience network. Yeah. And Messenger. You can still run it on Instagram Square feed as well if you want, but I feel like, yeah, just
what do you think?
Facebook, I think. Again, that's another good split test. So you could run 2 campaigns, one Facebook only, one Instagram only, or one Facebook and Instagram. But I think it's getting almost all the budget now anyway. So just for ease, just do Facebook. And then scroll down. So the one here you wanna yeah, you can just ignore all of those pop-up things. And then the only one that we want to keep here is Facebook feed. So you can remove all the other ones. Yeah. That's it. And remove the stories and the reels. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And then just make sure that Facebook feed. Yeah, perfect. So then that means it's only going to be shown Facebook feed and you only have to do that one creative for the square.
Okay.
And from there, if you go to each ad level, so the ones that say so natural, picky poly, etc. Here is where you can either use what I tend to do if, let's see, I'll just show you the question remote control, how I do this.
Sorry, Hannah.
No, you're fine.
All right, can you put the TV on for Tommy?
I don't know why. He just wants to see you, that's all.
Why didn't you let him see me?
Because you're busy.
Yeah, but
You're
just wanted to
over the
see
phone.
me. You just let him see me for a minute.
I cuddled him and walked him like in circles. He didn't want.
Yeah, I'll put the TV on. I'll put the TV on.
No.
He just wanted to see me, darling. Just let him see me. Hey, darling. Okay, put the TV on. Come on. Yeah, I'll put this on.
Have you finished?
No, can I wait for me? Sorry about that.
Hey.
Hi, sorry.
No, you're all good. Where was I? Oh yeah. Yes, okay. I'm just gonna see if I can show you how I would duplicate these ads just to maybe save you a little bit of time when you are. Is that working? Oh yeah. So say that this is the ad that you want to keep since it has, I think, the right copy.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So here there's a.
Yeah, that's different there. I don't know why.
Oh, I think, oh yeah. Maybe the original one. You might have changed the original one, but then not saved it. Or something like that. But yes, what I would do to save time when you build this, which is what we call it when you build out the ads, is add the copy that you want to run, and then the headline that you want to run, and then you can just go duplicate. So then you're making essentially exact duplicates of that ad. You can go two copies. and duplicate. And then we have these copies of that ad there. And then all you have to do, because all this is identical, then all you have to do here, you know that it's all going to be the same. So all you have to do is edit the media and then select the two different media for that ad. So that's just helpful, even if you want to make sure that an ad is identical to the original ad, so that there's not too much like thinking involved of what you've changed and what you haven't changed.
Yeah, great. So that was under action menu, was it?
Yeah, so this is like your build.
The 3 dots.
Exactly. So here, this is your build menu, I guess you can call it. So this is the campaign level, and then here's the ad set level. We can see that's kind of folders like sits under each other. And then here are all your ads within that ad set. So now there's a whole bunch of, I'm just going to leave these here in case you want to, if you want to grab some inspiration from them. But we still have, like, I was 5 minutes late as well, so happy to go over with a few minutes. Is there anything, do you want to like build it out together, or anything else in particular you want to go through, or any questions? The other thing we could check your as well is your landing page, the brow booking page, to see if any optimization can be done there, because that's where the conversions happen, right? So that's an important one as well.
Okay. Yeah, so but with this, just to make sure I know, I'm just gonna, we're just gonna have we've duplicated it. We're just gonna have the same text, copy the same headline, everything the same except 3 different images. And duplicated it so it's like it's a brand new campaign. And once I've got the inspiration or whatever from these, just have 3. So delete the other 2 and have the 3. 3 different versions of ads, and just publish. And then we're going to wait, and we're going to see. I'm just doing a little summary here. It just helps. So the main ones to look at after we've spent, as you said, we've spent about $50. Or at one stage you'd also said wait about 2 weeks. So that's what I had in my mind. I would wait about 2 weeks or a week.
Yeah, it just really depends on your ad spend. So now, since the ad spend is higher, you probably won't have to wait as long.
So wait a week, right?
I mean, I can't say exactly, because it just depends. It's more how much data you're able to get within that time. But I just $50 kind of as an indication. I mean, ideally, each ad, as a generic rule, each ad should have at least 2,000 impressions before you want to make any decisions based off it, more or less. And that's because before 2,000 impressions, the data just jumps around a lot. So the CTR, the click-through rate might be really high or really low, but then it stabilizes. So that's kind of the first general rule, at least 2,000 impressions. So
no worries.
If an ad, like if the click-through rate, or say that an ad is running and it's spent $30, but it's not at 2,000 impressions yet. But if it's spent $30 and it's not generated 1 initiate checkout, so essentially your cost per initiate checkout is over $30, that to me is a sign, okay, this ad is probably not going to work, because $30 is much more than what we want to pay ideally for an initiate checkout. Does that make sense? Because we can't track bookings, we're just trying to check the next possible step that we can track in the funnel instead, and make decisions based on that.
And like, for example, if there's a lot of initiate checkouts, or there's a low cost per initiate checkout, but then we're not then getting any Calendly bookings or any bookings or consults, there's an indication there that there's something maybe wrong with. No, because when they initiate checkout, I was thinking of the landing page, but actually they're pressing, they're trying to start to make a booking, aren't they?
They've pressed book now, and they've landed on the booking page where they select what type of consult they want.
Yeah. So that might be a possibility, maybe that they're initiating checkout, but then they're not booking. I was going to say that might be something to do with the landing page. Then I realized, no, hang on, that's when they actually make a booking, press make a booking. So could there be something be optimized there, maybe?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely. And that's again like things to test and play around with. Ideally,
yeah.
the checkout process should be as smooth as possible, right? As easy as possible, with as few options to escape as possible so that people don't get sidetracked.
Do you think they're checking the price though? Like these people who actually click, I think the price only. There is a page, no, it's not on the landing page, it's on the main website menu. There's a page for the price, but maybe that's what they're doing
Yeah.
on the landing page.
Yeah, and this is true. People, of course, like a lot of people click through it just because they're clicking book now. Obviously, doesn't mean that they're going to be booking. People are just curious and they just want me even see how do I book this, and that's why we just so that they're aware of how to book, and find out the price and just they're just kind of clicking around. But so it's. But it's again, it's an indication that people are not just landing and then going, oh, what's this? And then they bounce. They're at least clicking, they're reading something, they're clicking through.
They're actually interested. They are interested, but maybe the price put them off or maybe something else. But should we have a look? Thank you. Should we have a look at am I in control now? Can you see my screen, I mean?
And I'll stop the. I don't know. I can't. I think you might have to. You have to kick me out of the control because I can't.
Okay.
Won't allow me to.
Stop share. Sorry, stop share. It says
there.
I'm going to the landing page now, so that there it is. Oh, hang on. That means you can't see.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Sorry.
I know, that's good.
Do you want to see the landing page from my end? So share screen. No, where are I? This is it. Can you see that? Or you're looking at the wrong screen?
Yeah, no, I can see that. Perfect. Yeah.
So this is still good because this still comes up. And although I've paused the email marketing, all this work that you did is still going to put them in. If they sign up, they're going to go into the email list.
Yeah.
So that's great. And I've noticed, well, it was only 1 month, like it was only one test month, but I used to get roughly 10, 12 subscribers per month. Now that I've paused the email ad campaign, I got 5, which is for free instead of
paying.
Not for free. It's all related, but
yeah.
So I think I'll just pause it and put them more money into the
actual campaign. Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. So, now the other thing to consider as well is that probably a lot of people are on their mobile. So I always check this from a mobile perspective as well, right? To make sure that it's mobile.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll do that later.
I'm thinking of things that could be things to maybe consider adding. I mean, I think the landing page, like we said, maybe more. See where you scroll down and it says you are in skilled hands on the landing page.
Oh, am I going to scroll down to show you? I don't know where it is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe move this up and then include his name. So make it a little bit more personal about Aurelian, since seems to be they should be familiar with this image, his image. I would maybe move it up over the how it works, because it says there, I will help you in 4 easy steps. So maybe they should be introduced to Aurelian a little bit sooner.
Can I show you Do you think, I don't know, let me just show you a couple of photos. It's just, you know, do you think I should, I'm trying to find one and then I'll show you. Oh, the best they're here. Do you think a different one, like a new one, so it's not on the, or do you like that one that's on the landing page already? So like one of these or the one on the landing page? Which one do you prefer?
Ooh. I mean, I like the landing page one because it's bright and crisp, and he's wearing the Lux Inc shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the
Yeah.
one on the right, it's not obvious to people that that's the studio, so it just looks like a house type thing. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah, that's kind of one, I guess, piece of feedback. And I think that shirt is great. It looks professional, you know, when they recognize the name.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And the logo.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll shift that up.
Yeah,
And
move it
I
up
think you said
and
something.
include his name as well. You're in skilled hands by name, maybe something like just something with his name in there, because it seems like a lot of people, they comment his name, and in the reviews as well. It's because it's obviously, you know, like he's the provider, he's the tattoo and that artist, and that's who people trust.
Okay. And do you reckon we could remove some of it too? Because I think you mentioned that once. Like it's quite long.
Make it shorter. I mean, I don't think it's when it to make it shorter was more if we're going to change the funnel to book a consultation instead of the
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because the browser, they're quite expensive. Like the price point is high for Facebook. So then generally you need like more information on the landing page.
Okay.
But
Okay,
what
great.
you could test adding, if you're able to, is things to increase the trust on the landing page. For example, to add a chat widget, if you've seen those, that comes up like, do you have any questions? And then it's a messenger chat widget, so they can ask any questions directly to the LuxSync Facebook page. So you get a message whenever if someone has a question, and you can reply. Things like that can increase just the trust, and they can ask things quicker. That's one alternative like option to add. There's
So it's a Facebook widget.
Yeah, it's a Facebook widget, exactly. Where they can chat in kind of real time and ask questions. Oh gosh, there's so many different ones. Another one, and I'd have to get back to you and Google like more. You can even just Google yourself like website optimization, but things such as if you've been on websites when that's more for purchases, but I think it would work for this as well, where it says that there's a little pop-up that comes up on the side, very small, and it just says Karen booked with Aurelian 5 days ago or something like that. I don't know if that's appropriate, or things like this is also important to split test again, because more pop-ups can also mean worse results because people get annoyed by all the pop-ups. But yeah,
I remember seeing them on web pages.
yeah. And the other biggest change that we've made since, you know, that first initial original ad is that we were able to run the before and after photos then, right? Which is, and that it's something that if you're in charge of your own ad account and you're willing to kind of risk that, you can run those type of images, because I know a lot of permanent makeup providers do still run that, and it's not getting picked up by Facebook. But I wouldn't recommend it, because it could cause that your ad account is shut down essentially.
Yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. But then that's also about getting creative with the types of images and videos that you can run, such as running a video that's not a before and after image, but a video that shows the transformation in a really quick and like engaging way of before and after, but the way that it's cut and edited is that people can still see the before and after results.
Do you know any examples of that? I mean, would you?
Yep, I do have.
Yeah, would you send me?
Yeah, okay, let me just write down some action items for myself here. So you wanted the
I was just trying to visualize how to do that. I'm not really sure, but
yeah. Templates, videos, or I should say creative actions of before, after videos. Yeah, I'll send some of that through.
great, thank you. Yeah, so I'll just shift the one of Aurelian up and then maybe look into the widgets. And that was it really for the landing page we said, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the landing page is good and it's got everything that it needs. Increasing trust is always good, I think. So yeah, if possible, like a messaging widget and see if you get inquiries or people are. What you can also do to see how people, maybe more images, but what you can see, what would be neat is one of those images that's interactive. So it shows the before, but it's kind of like, so then you scroll past it, or you move a thing. I mean, I can't describe it properly.
Oh,
And then it shows the after, so it's almost like a video but an interactive one. I've seen, I don't know, that might be really difficult to implement, but that's one way of maybe including a before and after image without actually including a before and after image. Another thing is you can install something called Hotjar. I don't know if you've heard that.
I haven't heard of that, no.
Hotjar. I think it's called. Is it Hotjar? Hotjar. Yeah. Which is free. You can do it for free. You can install it. It's like a plugin, I believe. It's pretty easy to use. Like a plugin. I think it's just a WordPress plugin, if I'm not mistaken. You can there use heat maps. So what it does is it'll literally record actual users who land on your site. You can see how they behave on your page. So you can,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So that can be helpful to try and analyze the page and see, okay, what are people clicking on? What are they stopping on? Are they viewing the images? Should I have more images? Are they scrolling past the text? Are they just bouncing after they see this? You can kind of, see how they behave, and then maybe make some decisions on what can or can be optimized, or what should or should not be changed.
Yeah, so that would be something I would be able to see within my WordPress backend, sort of, because it's a.
Yeah, you mean like a plugin? I haven't used it for a little while. I actually can't remember.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's easy to use and easy to learn and install. It's just like either a plugin, or it must be a plugin because it's connected to your website. So I'm guessing it's a plugin. Yeah, but that can be helpful if you want to dive deeper.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll add a scrolling before, after, click an arrow to get the after. I'll figure out a way to do that. Is that the main way that you said you were going to, you put it on your to-do list, an example of what you were talking about, a before and after without it being a before and after?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other way is to do a video. So not an image, but a video that just shows kind of before and then transitions into an after.
If you do find an example, that would be so cool, because I really don't know how to do that, but I think I'll figure that out, because I think that's a big part of it. Possibly is a big part of it, that those were the original campaign was with before and afters.
Yeah,
and I haven't looked into that, and that was something that I think was on my to-do list, and you've reminded me. Yeah,
I think
cool.
that's the main one, because we know that the things were working pretty well at one point, and then definitely things slowed down as soon as we had to remove all of those before and afters, which was about what, almost a year ago now. I think it was like in around September I started having that
Goes so quick.
all that drama with Facebook. Yeah. That I was not
Fun weeks for you.
yeah. No, it wasn't. It was a good learning curve. Yeah, I think that makes sense as the next steps. And so relaunch the retargeting campaign as well, maybe change up some of the images in there so that your audience is seeing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, relaunch the top of funnel.
Yeah.
And again, like as soon as you see what you want is just to be able to track at this point one booking from one of your ads, right? We really need to start tracking at least like some purchases within the ad account so that Facebook feels that things are working, the machine is working. So yeah, that's really the first kind of goal, and then try to improve on that.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Hannah.
My pleasure. A few tips and ideas.
Yeah, I'll get to work on that. Yeah, I'll just I'll let you know how it goes, just out of interest.
Yeah,
and we'll probably end up booking in another session at some point, but hopefully, yeah, I mean, I've got a lot to work on here, and hopefully we'll see some results.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm curious to see how it all goes, and yeah, keep me in the loop. And I will send through the Canva templates and some creative variations, and the last video as well of the split testing and the recording here. I should write that.
Oh no, so much. Sorry, but thank you.
No, that's all my job. So this recording of the Zoom. Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Are you planning on staying in Sweden for a while?
I'm gonna stay here now for another, what is it? Yeah, roughly another month, I think. And then I'm going to Italy, back to south of Italy. I'm gonna stay there for a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to, I think I've decided on Greece and then to Cyprus. I think I've decided. I haven't booked it yet, but yeah, that's my rough plan or what I'm doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
As the colder it gets, the further south you'll go.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. I don't have any winter clothes, so, and Sweden's already cold now, and I miss the beach. So yeah.
I just remember being there in midsummer, and I was like, "What? This is cold." It
is.
Cold.
It is.
Midsummer party, you know, and everyone was wearing jackets.
Yeah. It's so, we had
beautiful place, but just way too cold.
Yeah, I feel sorry because June was amazing. I think all of May and all of June it was like 25 degrees and sunny every day.
Oh,
people
paradise.
were so happy. Yeah, people were really happy.
So good.
But then now all poor people, now that they got their summer, you know how, you know, people have
so
their
short.
It's so short, and so it's so important for people that the weather is nice. So I feel sorry for everyone who's got the holidays now that I wish it was in June.
Oh, it's so important. Like we have it so good here in Perth, and Sydney fairly good too, really. Well, yeah, I mean compared to Sweden, but just, yeah, it's just so important to get those few months, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it really is, especially
when it is nice weather. It's really beautiful. It's really, really beautiful when it's nice weather, but it's just too short.
It's way too short. Yeah. Luckily, I don't mind so much because I know that I'm leaving anyway, so I don't really I don't care too much about the weather. But I feel sorry for everyone else.
Yeah. And they feel sorry for themselves too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I know what they're like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I'll keep in touch. I'll let you know how it goes.
Sounds good. All right. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon/evening.
And you enjoy your day. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.